Order the village board meeting for October 16, 2024. I'd like everybody to stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call of village board members.
Okay, trustee Count is absent. Trustee Cellier?
Here.
Trustee Chizino?
Here.
Trustee Vett?
Here.
Mayor Hallie?
Here.
Attorney Nugent?
Here.
All here except for trustee Count.
Okay. Okay, we're going to open up this a public hearing regarding amendments to Chapter 120 of the Village Code zoning concerning site plan approval of alterations to structures and properties in designated protection areas. Just going to read section 1, the legislative intent of this law. It is the intent of this local law to ensure consistency within the village code with respect to reviewing and enforcing development constraints on construction within the village, as well as to promote the existence of residential dwellings in the village. The village seeks to amend the village code to maintain development and construction requirements within the village with the appropriate effectiveness and to facilitate development for 1 and 2 family dwellings within certain areas. We have this published. Do I have any public input onto this particular item? Any discussion? Yes, ma'am.
Jean Marin, 5 Brook Court. So it's.
Hold on, Jane. I'm sorry, Jane. Would you mind coming up? We're having a hard time trying to do the minutes this way. We're working on a
I'm
podium,
just
so you guys
curious
can.
if you could please, there's references to codes that's not in here, and you could please explain the circumstances, because it seems to me like there's going to be a lot more approval needed for anything that someone does on their property. And I'm wondering about how much that's going to increase costs to the current landowners and homeowners. And, you know, what are these permit fees if this is going to increase having to get permits for things?
Well, as far as permit fees, they're gonna be fees that are gonna be generally taken up. What this is doing, it's protecting our buffer zone with the lake and stuff like, and issues like that. Brian, is there anything you can add to maybe this question?
Sure, Mayor. The code references are just other provisions of the code that already exist. That those aren't new. Whatever was in the code. In other words, this isn't a new law. It's an amendment to the existing one. So the only real difference is the code takes. It used to have an exception for minor exterior alterations in that 100-foot buffer. Now, basically, interior doesn't need any approval other than your normal building permit. Exterior alterations that involve disturbance of the soil, you know, something more than like, you know, changing your shutters or something, obviously would not be included. But if there's an exterior alteration in this zone, then that would be subject to planning board approval, which it was already, but there was language in there that used to say minor exterior alterations were exempt. This basically takes that exemption out, puts it to the planning board if the exterior alteration involves a disturbance to soil.
So if someone needs a raised deck, you know, some of the floorboards replaced, would that count as something you need to
Not
pay?
an existing deck, because you wouldn't be disturbing soil in that case. You would just be replacing planks on a deck.
Okay.
But if, for example, you put a small addition on the back of the house, that would be, even it's an exterior alteration, that would be a planning board approval case.
Okay, so in what examples would it be increasing the things that you have to come to the planning board for?
Well, it's taking the term minor exterior alterations out, in other words, of the code, where
Yeah,
you
that's my concern.
previously, if you had a minor exterior alteration, which had previously been defined as repair of an existing structure, replacement of the structure in similar materials in the same dimensions, that used to be defined as a minor exterior alteration. That now will still have to go to the planning board. So
What
it's-
are the fees for that it's going to cost the current residents that didn't have this
I don't
before?
know them off the top of my head. The fees aren't additional here. It's just whatever the normal, you know, fees would be, but I don't know what those are as we're sitting here. This isn't changing fees. It's just you would pay whatever the
But
fee
more
is.
people will have to pay more fees if they do anything. If they
If
do
they
those
do
minor,
these
if they do those minor
Exterior,
repairs.
well, no, not even minor. If they do exterior alterations that disturb the soil, they would have to go to the planning board.
Okay,
If
I
they're
guess
doing
that's where I need
interior,
disturb
they-
the soil defined.
I'm sorry?
Disturb the soil, is that because people are walking on the ground to
No,
erect
it's
things, there's
construction that
equipment
just
there?
involves, like I say, a new deck, addition, anything where you would have to put, you'd have to disturb soil to do the exterior work.
Okay, I didn't quite read it that way, but thank you, that's
You're
what I
welcome.
needed to know.
Yeah, no, it's not just somebody like walking on the soil or anything.
Does that answer your question? Okay. Anybody else with any input? Okay, hearing none, we will keep this, this public hearing open. We will not vote until, at least next month. At that juncture, hearing none, I'd like to move on to our workshop. Okay. We're gonna hear from the town of Warwick supervisor in a little while, once we get into our regular meeting. Correspondence, we have a letter from, the Teamsters affiliation with our PBA, looking to disaffiliate with their Teamster local union. They're not happy, I guess. We have a resignation letter from Dylan Sempervio as a dispatcher, who will be, later on, a resolution to rehire him as a police officer. We have, a refund for a building permit application from a Miriam Isery, which I recommend. She took out a building permit application, and it turned out it's for a fence that can't be constructed, so we're gonna take care of her. We have a refund of an escrow for a building permit, same premise. And then we have Craig Bacon with a water bill, looking for a 50% reduction in his water bill. The only little issue with him is it's for quite a sum of money, and it goes over two billing periods, right, Kathleen?
Yeah, but we're only giving them the one.
We're only gonna give him relief from the first one, as pretty much historically we've done.
He was notified of the first one, right?
Yeah, so what happened was he had work done on his furnace, and when the person was doing work on his furnace, they accidentally opened a valve with him not knowing about it. They don't live in the house. They only come up every once in a while. I gave you guys the history on the water account.
Yep.
Their water history is only about like $200 a month. And what happened was, by the time they came back to the house, like I said, they had gone for months at a time. It actually, the water bill, the water that was running spanned 2 different water bills. So like it probably happened like the end of February. We did our water readings, and it was still going into March. Okay.
So I'm gonna look for, you give him relief from the first one, the second one, and again, that's how we've been handling that.
Yep.
Obviously, we'll have our department heads and boards speaking. Trustees, I'd like to just say, we're gonna miss Trustee Kelm tonight. She's still a little under the weather, and in our thoughts and prayers. Lake treatment, had a meeting, had a Zoom meeting regarding lake management, treatment, herbicides, dredging with the DEC. A Zoom meeting last week with about 4 or 5 different people from the DEC. Jim Martin, our newly appointed Lake Commission person. Councilman Floyd D'Angelo was in on the call. It was very informative. We went through a lot of things. I basically wanted to get a timeline on how we're gonna handle next spring. What are our options? What permits we have in place? We're good on herbicides, and weed harvesting through next December of '25. So we're good on that, but we want to get ahead of the curve. It was a very lengthy conversation, a lot of technical stuff. Jim Martin, who is very, very astute in this, is in the process of making up a report. I'm gonna get it to, Matt, our liaison from the board, and I'll get, I don't know if you saw the email, he sent out a little synopsis yesterday. I wanted to get that printed. But basically what it's doing, it's giving us a little bit of timeline. It gave me a lot more, information that I needed, to bring to the board to make decisions, to see how we're gonna go ahead. Get these water chestnuts up in the North Arm, they multiply tremendously, so we have to try to get a little bit ahead of it. So, that's where we're at with the lake treatment. MS4, stormwater management, we complied with the law that we had to have our storm management agreement and plan in place by early October. Also, in the future, we passed it last month, where everybody that is gonna be affected by this, whatever property, whatever building, whatever businesses that will be maintaining a storm drain on their property, they have to enter into an agreement with the village that they will maintain it. And this is all part of the MS4 plan. It all kind of ties in together. It's all about runoff, discharge, illicit discharges, planning, education, enforcement. It's a whole plethora of things that come into play with MS4. But the basic issue with it is discharge into the lake. You can sugarcoat it, you can use all big words, but that's what it's about. It's about storm water from our gardens, our septics, every which way that goes into our lake. We have to control it, and the state is making us be on top of it, but we always have been anyway. So it's nothing new for Greenwood Lake, but we just have to dot our i's and cross our t's as we move forward. Benjamin Steakhouse, I know there's a lot of chatter about Benjamin Steakhouse. I'd like to be the first to publicly say that they received their demo permit. Work began Tuesday. While it's not noticeable from the street just yet, because they're inside doing asbestos abatement and prepping the building for the demo. So, if you watch social media, you're gonna see that the post, that's okay. I know it's been a long process. It's been 2+ years. We're there. We're right there. And I spoke to Benjamin himself, and he stated that once they break ground, once they remove it, and they're gonna move as fast as possible. So hopefully, we'll see some tangible changes in the scenery over there very, very, very soon.
Question for you, Mayor.
Go ahead.
Are we're not putting out any sort of statement on our website regarding that?
I'm reluctant to until I see a big ball with a wrecking crane.
And there's no date, he didn't give you a date when?
Well, no, they're in there since Tuesday.
Got it.
They're doing they've gotten their permit,
Got it.
and now they're inside doing, like I said, asbestos abatement and whatever's necessary inside. So they're there, they're on site. Our building inspector's been there today. So it's happening, but let's wait until we see a little bit more. Okay, lead and copper. Lead and copper is a very important subject. It's very important to all the municipalities in New York State. Actually, today was the 16th. We had to have, all municipalities had to have a lead and copper report due to the New York State Department of Health today. I'd like to say happily, after months of prepping, ours was sent out this morning, timely. Our Dave Fritz from our engineering firm got it in this morning, so we've complied with the deadline. That's the good news, and no bad news, but the next bit of news is we still have a month, we have another month to explain a couple of things, because most of the responses were unknown lead, probably not. We based it on many things. Some of it is village code, some of it is our water operator been here 25 years and never seen it. And again, we have code that goes back to 1970 that dictates that you can't have lead, so that leans in our favor. We still have a lot of work to do. What we did today was comply with the initial order. The report had to go in. So now, our building department has been going through, whenever there's time, house by house, we're trying to get the dates of houses built, which is important. You know, a house built in 1924, could it have lead? Yes. A house built after the 1970 shouldn't have lead, you know, just based on our code. So what our goal is now, and it's gonna take a while, is to identify any potential lead. We think there is very, very, very few, if any, but I'm sure there's gonna be a stray one. But it's incumbent upon us to satisfy the state and the Department of Health that there is none. But today was a big hurdle. I'm sure there's a lot of municipalities that didn't get it in, but I'm not concerned with them. I'm concerned that we got ours in, but we still have to work on this. So, between Kathleen, Holly, Danielle,
Mitzi.
oh yes, Mitzi, New Hire, Mitzi, they've been working painstakingly. So we are sending out, we're on TV still, a notice for your water line service. It's a little bit of a survey. We're asking the public to do a little bit of extra work. Okay, locate it. We're kind of stepping them through. You have to locate where it comes into your meter. There's a scratch test you can do. There's a QR code here that will bring you up to a survey. And if we get, and I don't even want to guess on the percentage of compliance, whatever compliance we get, we'll take. And that'll help us. So say 2 months from now, we can go into our database, and based on these surveys and what people are telling us, we can go in, and again, it's painstaking, it's house by house, it's not a broad statement. So if we can go 103 Windermere Avenue, they did a scratch test, did this, we're gonna change the spreadsheet, and it'll be on an ongoing basis. So it's something that's not just, it didn't die today, it's an ongoing thing. So this is going out to everybody. We certainly would appreciate you not just tossing it with all the big Christmas bills that are coming in, but to take a few minutes, try to help us out with that. And again, we're not expecting 100% compliance, so we'll have to take another approach maybe in 5-6 months to test it differently. But if we can get a decent amount tested with compliance from the homeowner, it's gonna lighten the load a little bit. So lead and copper is here to stay. You're gonna hear about it for months and months. But anyway, that's where we're at today, and thanks for all the hard work, and to Dave Fritz from MHE Engineering for getting us through that. Okay, new business, holiday festival and Christmas tree lighting is on Saturday of Thanksgiving weekend. That's the 30th, correct?
Yep.
November 30th. That'll be over at Winstanley Park. Obviously, I think it starts at noon. Kathleen and Holly sent out a questionnaire request for donations from various businesses, vendors that do business with the village, asking to help subsidize this, and we have gotten a lot back. We've as of today, we've received $850 from various businesses. So if you receive something in the mail and you want to be on this good list, we'd appreciate it. It goes to the festival. It's not for the village's coffers. We're just trying to make it very nice for everything on that holiday weekend. On the new business, I finally had a sit-down meeting with the West Milford, Town of West Milford Mayor, Michelle Dale, up in her office, just to kind of do a meet and greet. We spoke about the weed harvester agreement that we received a couple of months ago, but we wanted to make sure all the loose ends were tied up. I was content with it, in our dialogue. We'll have possession of them, we'll keep possession of them, we'll maintain them. If they get in a situation where they're gonna need it on the south end, we're gonna come up with a plan to provide them with the harvester. As far as, who's driving the harvester, that's to be determined. More than likely, it's gonna be someone from our end, because, we have the familiarization. Brendan, our parks person, he's the one that was able to fix them when we got him. He brought them up from not working to up and running, both harvesters. So I don't wanna just hand it off to someone who doesn't understand it that well, just because they're willing to drive the weed harvester. So that's something that will be to be determined. Not gonna happen often probably, but it won't happen until next spring. And on that note, we did get the grant from Senator Skoufis for $100,000 to purchase a small weed harvester. The ones we currently have, it's small, medium, and large. We have a very large one, we have a medium-sized one, and now going into next year, after we make the purchase from this grant, we'll have a small one that'll navigate in and out of marinas, docks, small areas, and issues like that. Okay? Events, they're up there, and we have, anybody have any questions regarding these resolutions? Okay. If anyone has any, no other questions, I'm going to, we're gonna take a 5-minute pause and then go right into our regular village board meeting. Take 5. Yeah. Okey-doke, everybody. I'd like to break from pause and now begin the regularly scheduled village board meeting. It is now 6:32. Okay, roll call and the Pledge of Allegiance has already been done. We had a public hearing regarding Chapter 120 of the Village Code concerning site plan approval. The public hearing has not been closed. We will continue that next month. Did a workshop. Now we have some announcements. This time, I would like to recognize the Town of Warwick Supervisor, Jesse Dwyer, with a very important presentation.
If I may, I'd like to call up my fellow councilman here to join me.
John. I'll come down.
Yeah, please.
Yeah.
So if you reach out to me tomorrow, Tom, our town assessor can get you the data on construction of new homes.
Okay.
Because that's what we used, right? We use the spreadsheet. We can run a spreadsheet of the entire village.
Okay.
That'll tell you if they were built after 1974 or whatever you need to know.
That'd be great.
Good. All right, get right in the middle here, Captain. So, the reason I'm here today is I wanted to make a presentation to the village board on behalf of the town board. The town of Warwick came into about $1.5 million from a sale of property within the old prison property, which is now the tech park. And we're very fortunate to come into this extra money that is dedicated to parks within the town of Warwick. And knowing, as the town board does, how vital a role the villages play in serving residents outside of the village of Greenwood Lake, such as the 2,000 or more residents that live on Jersey Avenue, Old Dutch Hollow, Nelson Road, and East Shore that do go to the basketball courts in Greenwood Lake, that do go to Winstanley Park, that do go to the dog park and Lions Field. They recreate at all of the village parks that are not necessarily owned by the town of Warwick, but they serve the town of Warwick. So on behalf of the town board, I did want to present the check to the village of Greenwood Lake for $150,000 to go toward park improvements or park acquisition within the village of Greenwood Lake. So on behalf of the town board, congratulations, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Supervisor.
And unlike most state or federal grants, this is an actual check that can be deposited right away. It's not going to take you 2 years to get the money. And just want to make sure that what this does is continue the partnership between the village and the town to ensure that all residents of the town have access to the village parks, just as they have for many, many years to come.
Well, first of all, thanks to town. This will go a long way. We partnership on a lot of things. I mean, the two main parks in Greenwood Lake are town-owned. So we joint venture on a bunch of things. So this will help us immensely, as you would, as a former mayor. You know what $150,000 can help the village with. So thank you again.
Of course.
And,
So you guys want to come down too?
get behind us, yeah, get
All right,
behind
they're
us.
behind. So let's do the old. You have one side, I grab the other.
Ready? Say cheese.
All right. Thank you, Mr.
Appreciate it.
Right?
Good work, guys. Good work.
Thanks, Joe.
I was actually going to say so.
Okay, let me give this to the boss. Again, Supervisor Dwyer, Councilman Cole, and Floyd, thanks again on behalf of all the residents of the village. That will go a long way, and you'll see improvements. You'll definitely see improvements. So, but we're gonna wait, make sure it's spent correctly, and not have a knee-jerk reaction to anything. So it's gonna help, and it's gonna go the right way. Thank you, Jesse. Appreciate it. Okay. Anybody else want to present the check? No? Okay. That being said, correspondence has been distributed. If anybody on the village board has any questions, we can discuss it. If not, we will move on to visiting elected officials. And I'll let Russell say a word, but if he would like, Russ Cole from town, no? Or you're gonna let Floyd handle it? No. And Floyd doesn't have anything? Again, thanks for your participation in that. Much appreciated. Okay, reports of the boards and department head, Parks and Rec would be Brendan Colasar.
Alright, so for September and October, we emptied garbage cans throughout the village parks, flag maintenance, inspection, raising and lowering to half staff at designated locations, replaced 10 flags along Windermere from wind damage, walking trail maintenance, clearing of debris, trimming of overgrowth, branches, general trail upkeep, and we also added wood chips for the terror trail, just to widen it out a little bit. Grass mowing, regular mowing of all parks. Prepared equipment for leaves, maintenance and servicing of leaf blowers and other fall cleanup equipment. Ball field maintenance, leveling of fields and raking of infields. Watering, regular watering of flowers and the new tree from Village of Warwick. Removal of summer flowers. Installation of fall decorations, put pumpkins, hay bales, corn stalks, and other seasonal decorations at the entrances and exits. That's all I have.
Thank you, Brendan. As you can see, Brendan's a busy fellow.
And
We-
remove skunks off of Windermere.
And what?
And remove
And
skunks off
he
Windermere.
removes skunks off Windermere Avenue.
I didn't do that.
Oh, you
I
did
know,
it?
okay.
That was me.
Oh, okay.
Adam.
Okay, let's see who's next. We got, DPW. Hello, sir.
How we doing? Well, we've had a good month. It's weather-wise. We're doing the normal things. We're cleaning catch basins, repairing catch basins, doing a hot patch while we still have hot.
Hot
macadam.
patch left.
Well, we can still get it. We're mowing, doing leaves, and helping fill with the water problems.
Yep. Okay. And we have many. I spoke with Ben. He came back from vacation.
We're also repairing our sanders, getting ready for the winter, so
Okay.
maintaining them.
Okay, no.
How does the winter look?
Great, just beautiful.
Thank you. Police, Chief Adam Iron.
Good evening, everyone. For September 2024, the Greenwood Lake Police Department handled 1,154 blotters, effected 4 arrests, issued 146 traffic summonses, 1 parking summons, and handled 4 motor vehicle accidents. We just want to remind everybody, have fun for Halloween, but there are curfews on October 30th and the 31st, 8 p.m. That applies to all minors under the age of 18 unless accompanied by a parent, guardian, or adult 21 years of age or older. Detective Dwyer will also be visiting the elementary school and giving Halloween safety presentation and giving the kids some goodies. That is the end of my report. Thank you.
Thank you, Chief. Water, Phil Landrew, the busiest guy in the village.
Good evening, Board. The department would like to report that village water consumption is dropping significantly with the approach of colder weather. And demand typically continues to decrease as we go into November and shut down all of our summer water systems for the cold winter months ahead. Emergency response, vulnerability assessment, and cybersecurity assessment reports have all been finalized and approved by the County Health Department. Copies can be accessed on the village website or obtained through Village Hall.
Yep.
Am I correct in that?
Yes.
Lead service line inventory covered in detail. Even though I personally have not seen a single inch of lead pipe in the village in my over 20 years of service in the village, the state's required lead service line inventory has been submitted to the state. This will be a working inventory that will be an ever-updating registry, so to speak, of the pipe material of every water-carrying service line in the village. We were just notified today that Atlantic Testing will be looking to schedule us for sample boring in the north arm of the lake sometime in November. The village is hoping to find one of the underground springs that feed the lake and tap into it as our primary water supply. To find and access one of these springs would not only eliminate the need to drill a mineral-laden sand and gravel well every 20 years, but the water quality would require far less chemical treatment and filtration. Our trihalomethanes, halocytic acids, have been coming in well within compliance, as have our PFAS, PFOA, and dioxanes. along with our recently collected lead and coppers passing as well. Village is in full compliance of all health department standards for public water supply. And as always, Bill left, we would like to thank the DPW for their ongoing assistance with any and all water main and service-related maintenance and repairs. And that concludes my report.
Thank you,
I
sir.
have to correct, that will not be available on the website, or they cannot get a copy because it's our security.
Yeah, cybersecurity, the cybersecurity
No
is
one's allowed
is
to
just
see
what
it.
it is.
All right,
We're-
vulnerability assessment as well.
Yeah, no, because
All right,
it,
so none of
it
that
leaves
stuff's
us
available,
open.
so I misspoke.
Yeah.
No problem.
No.
I mean, that's
yeah.
the whole gist of it. Even when we were putting this together, we typically would reach out to other municipalities to see where
And they
they're
can't
at.
even share
They
it.
couldn't even share it with us,
Yeah.
and we can't share with them.
Right.
But that's all good, but we have it, we complied,
All right.
and they're happy, we're
I
happy.
have a copy, I have a flash drive with a
Yeah.
copy on it. I'll bring it to the village hall tomorrow.
Yeah, I
'Cause
have,
don't know
I
if
have a copy on I have a hard copy, and I have a soft copy.
you have it on file as well?
Yeah.
All right, okay,
Thank you, Phil.
all right.
Yeah,
Lot of-
Delaware Engineering gave me a flash drive with it on it as well.
Okay.
There's been a lot of work, not just this vulnerability study, lead and copper, MS4, that involves Phil and his team, so to speak. A lot of it is clerical, administrative in nature, but it's painstaking, truly is. Phil, I know sometimes we're all scratching our heads, but together, the last 2 months as far as water went, and then plus all the numbers are looking good, so thank you so much and,
Hopefully,
and great job.
all right, thanks, Ryan.
Yeah. Okay, trustee reports. In trustee's absence, I believe Clerk Holder might have a little report.
Skip her for 1 second while I grab.
Okay, I'm gonna go right by it. Trustee Selye.
Thank you, Mayor. I'll start with the chamber. I think a reminder that the chamber will be holding a social media marketing workshop on October 23rd at the American Legion. It's free for chamber members, $20 for non-members. The doors open at 5:30, and that event will run from 6 to 9 p.m. They encourage small businesses in town that have storefronts, that also have home-based businesses to attend. So I look to share some valuable marketing information for those businesses. The chamber will be working with the food pantry this Thanksgiving to provide turkeys to the community, those in need. And at the Ambulance Corps 70th anniversary dinner, they were represented by Brenda Wiley that evening. The library, the note here that the winter hours will begin January 1st through March 9th. They'll close at 8 p.m. versus they're 9 p.m. currently. And they're also examining how they can support the elementary school librarian with services, as there's a need there at the elementary school with library services. So they'll be working with them, hopefully working with them to help support that. The other item I'll mention is this past weekend at the Oktoberfest on Saturday, the Greenwood Lake Park held a fundraiser by sponsoring the Bounty House and the Kids Village. I do want to thank everyone in that committee who helped put that together, and more importantly, I want to thank all of the first responders, as well as all of the emergency services, both local, town, county, and state, that were present all day. They brought a lot of equipment. The kids had an opportunity to touch a truck, as they call it, or put on equipment and get into those vehicles. So that was they really helped us out a tremendous amount in their support. It's a great canine demonstration. I think everyone learned a lot about sort of canines and the training that they go through, as well as the relationship they build with their partner. So I think it was a good day all around. So thank you to all of the first responders, emergency service personnel, those in service as well, who were there on site all day, were present. Thank you to Greenwood Lake PD was there, had the boat out as well. So it was a well represented from all of our local first responders, law enforcement, and state sort of emergency service personnel. So that ends my report.
Thank you. Trustee Trezino.
Good evening. Mine is short and sweet this month. The building department reports there was one zoning board meeting in the month of September. There were 2 returning applications. One was for a change of use application for a new business on 97 Windermere. The matter will continue processing once a revised application has been submitted to the building department. Another was for 16 Linden Ave, a site plan approval for working within critical environmental area. It was accepted with conditions added to the plans. There were no new applications. For public safety, I've reached out to representatives of our emergency services regarding reporting monthly activity. The Greenwood Lake Ambulance Corps reported that for the month of September, they handled a total of 46 calls. No issues were reported. The Ambulance Corps also participated in the annual September 11th Memorial, with many of their members attending the service. They will be participating in the upcoming Greenwood Lake Terror Trail this weekend with an ambulance crew on scene. Greenwood Lake Fire Department did not submit information for the month of September, but no issues were reported. Last, just as a reminder to everybody out there, hunting season has begun. For our non-hunters, please be aware that if you're hiking or walking your dogs in or near hunting areas, please wear bright colors, the best of which is safety orange, and please ensure that your dogs are leashed to avoid accidents and stay compliant with the law. For our hunters out there, follow the rules and follow the laws. They're in place to keep everybody safe. For both hunters and non-hunters, please use common courtesy and share our forests responsibly as they belong to everyone. Thank you. End of report.
Thank you, sir. Trustee Vet, we're in the process of reorganizing and changing some assignments that will take effect at next month's meeting. So Matt doesn't have a particular subject except for Lake. He's our Lake Commission trustee rep. Anything on the lake? I mean,
Well, one thing I just wanted to explain or magnify was last meeting we had that Supervisor Dwyer was looking at having a grant writing team help us. Most people don't realize that when the commission was formed, they had them be equal in laws in both New York and New Jersey, but some laws were not changed. So in New Jersey, the commission can file and apply for a grant. In New York, it can't. So we would have to do it as a village board. So it's either the grants are given to municipalities and nonprofits, and the way that the commission is formed right now, it's not a nonprofit. So that team, that grant writing team, is going to be beneficial to help us get money for the lake, and that's about it.
thank you. Clerk Holder will give her report, and also Trustee Kelms.
All right, I'm gonna do trustee Kelms first. This is for the seniors. The Elks Luncheon, approximately 35 guests attended the monthly Elks Luncheon. The next luncheon will be held on October 25th. A big thank you to the Elks for their continued support. The Green Lake Fire Department visited on October 11th. The Green Lake Fire Department visited the center to speak about fire prevention and treated the seniors to lunch. Thank you to the Green Lake Fire Department for their time and generosity. New brain health class. The new brain health class was well attended with 6 to 8 participating each month. The next class will be held on November 1st at 11:30 a.m. This report summarizes the activities and events that took place at the Senior Center during the month of October. We are grateful for the continued support of our community partners and volunteers. That's the end of our report. Clerk's report, just a reminder that water bills are due by October 25th before a late payment fee will be applied. And also, if any taxes from your June tax that went out, if it's not paid by the end of the month, they get re-levied as of November 1st. So please come in and pay your bills. That's the end of my report.
Thank you. A couple of things on myself. For village residents, we will be opening the DPW on Saturday mornings from 9 a.m. to noon, beginning this Saturday, the 16th, going through, what do we say, the 23rd? Or the 16th of November
So,
for the leaf removal?
yeah, we're going to the November 16th.
November 16th. So 9 to 3, any village residents, non-commercial, leaves and brush. can be brought up to the top of the DPW. Boring of the north arm, like Phil touched base on, this has been going on for a little bit. What this is to look for potential water sources, springs. Our engineers, based on science and engineering, geology, feel that that potentially could be a good source for drinking water for many, many, many years. So we have the money, we have the grant to explore it. Hopefully they're gonna go in, as we were told today, mid-November. Okay? The grant that Maddie's talking about, Supervisor Dwyer at last meeting spoke kind of lengthily regarding the town entering into an agreement with a grant writing company, Millennium Grant Writing. I'm not sure exactly their full name. He's invited all 3 villages within the town at a very nominal cost to joint venture with the town in utilizing these grant writing experts. They chase grants, they look for grants, they send us daily available grants. If we feel it's something that we could use, they write the grants. Now, obviously, we're gonna have to participate in a lot of statistical numbers, but we're gonna, more than likely, we'll decide next month. It'll start January 1st. Potentially, it could be a very good thing. The success of this company seems to be very well, and it'll just open up new doors. Our staff isn't that large, so trying to find grants in and of itself, and once you find them, now you have to do a lot of work. So I think this could be a very good relationship, but we'll find out later. Also, Chief Adam Iron has interviewed and I've spoken with. We're always on the look for part-time police officers. It's the nature of the beast. You know, we have some people move on, people retire. We get young people, we get, you know, retired people. These are 2 young people looking for their first foray into law enforcement. We've had a lot of success and luck with the caliber of officer that we've been bringing on, and we hope that these 2 will live up to those same expectations. We'll be discussing that later in the resolutions. That's all I have as far as my report. I'd like to go right into old business lake treatment. I spoke at the workshop on it. Lake treatment involves a lot of things. It's weed harvesting, it's hydro raking, it's herbicides. There's a lot of moving parts to maintaining the lake in the way we need it. We want it for recreation. We want it to be viable for businesses, for the community to swim in. But it takes a lot of work. There's a lot of moving parts. So we had a meeting via Zoom with the DEC last week. And basically what the gist of the meeting was to come up with a plan of attack, a plan to attack invasive species with whatever sources that are allowable by law. DC is a state agency with a lot of bureaucratic moving parts. They treat wetlands as they should, with a lot of respect, and we have to abide by strict rules and regulations in order to treat the lake in a manner that's gonna make it appealing to everyone. There were issues in the past with herbicides. They were used, not used, they could be used. There was so many gray areas that I wanted to get on this call and hear it right from the personnel from the state. The call was attended by myself, Floyd D'Angelo, Jim Martin from our Lake Commission, Dale from the Lake Commission, and 4 or 5 reps from DEC. Without going into every minute of it, they gave us, the lay of the land, the rules that we have to follow. We have people now, we can put faces to names. If we have issues, we have phone numbers that we can call instead of just dropping an email. So I feel much more comfortable that as we enter into the winter, coming up with a plan to utilize in the spring, to start a little bit earlier and to take care of short-term and long-term. Just don't want to constantly put a Band-Aid on something. You want to look down the road, and that's where we're leaning. So we want to fix the immediate issues and address the long-term issues. It's a lot of work, it's a lot of planning, but I think we're on board with it. MS4 is basically stormwater management and discharge of water or anything that can basically end up into the lake. Because of our community, even if you don't live on the lake, we have to abide by certain things. That's why we have a 3-year septic pump out. That's why we can't use certain for your lawn, pesticides in your lawn and that kind of stuff. So just because you live a mile from the lake, it still ends up in the lake through stormwater management. So we've come up with a plan. We have agreements, stormwater management agreements with various properties. Any new properties that are going to be built anywhere close to the lake or even a little bit off it, where you have to maintain the stormwater drains that are on your property or anything that potentially can get into a drain. So it's basically about monitoring. It's about education. It's about letting the public know what you can and can't do, what you should and shouldn't be doing. And it's about enforcement if it comes down to it. Illicit discharges could be anything from someone, and believe me, people do this. They have old gas in a container in their shed or their garage. What do you do with it? They think, I can just dump it down this grate in the street because it's going to go away. That's an illicit discharge. It's serious. So that's where education is going to come in, and we will be sending out information. We might even have a robocall or two. We want to get the word out regarding the stormwater management program that we have in place. Benjamin Steakhouse. I'm happy to say that it is moving. I know it's been 2 years, 2+ years. I know there's been a lot of chatter going on. What's going on? Did they bail out? Did they leave? Are they not opening? When you open up something, a project of that magnitude right on the lake, it takes time. And it did. It took approximately 2 years. All of that, I promise you, all of that was not from the village being a hindrance. They had to jump through hoops for the DEC regarding a plethora of subjects. You couldn't imagine everything that has to be done. Anyway, the good news is they were issued their demo permit this week, and as we speak, they're working inside right now, taking care of internal issues, asbestos abatement, and prepping the place for demolition. So keeping fingers crossed. I will never give a timeline, I learned that, but I think in the very, very near future, we should see much more progress in the demolition of that place. And once it gets demolished, the owner has told me personally that they're going to move full speed ahead. So hopefully the eyesore is behind us, and looking forward to seeing what it looks like. Lead and copper survey. Lead and copper is a hot button subject right now in the state of New York, Department of Health. Every municipality has had to comply with many, many painstaking issues regarding identifying potential lead and copper service pipes into our homes and in our mains and our pipes and in everything. It's a painstaking process. Today was the deadline to send the report into the DOH, Department of Health, which we complied with. We have about 1,100, 1,200 homes in Greenwood Lake that we're gonna have to identify if they have any lead, or if it's lead or copper. We want copper, we don't want lead. Our water plant operator, who's been here for upwards of 2 decades, has told me he's never seen lead anywhere in our infrastructure or in anyone's homes. So that's good news. Part B is we have to prove it. We have to prove it to the state. So even though we complied with the initial order to have the report sent in today, a lot of it was classified as unknown. So this is going to be an ongoing process. So in the next week, 2 weeks, everyone will be receiving a little postcard. On this postcard, there are instructions that if you can comply with these instructions and go into your basement, do a little bit of legwork for us, it would help the village out immensely. There is a QR code that will bring you to a survey. And on that survey, obviously they're asking you certain questions regarding the findings that were produced by this little test. I'm not going to read it to you, but it's a testing of the pipe. It's kind of simple. You have to scratch it, see what kind of metal, and again, it'll all be in the survey. Now, we know that everyone's not going to be able to do this, and for those who can't, can always call Village Hall, and we'll make some sort of arrangement. We haven't figured out logistically just yet, but if we can get some serious compliance in this, and then we'll see where we stand, and then we'll come up with a different way to attack it to where we can be 100% compliance. We do have a little time, but not a lot. As long as we're moving forward, I think the Department of Health will be content that we're not just pushing it away, that we do take it serious, and we do take it serious. It's something that if you have lead and you have children, it's not a good thing. We feel very comfortable, or comfortable enough that we're in good shape. So if you can, when you get this, any questions, call Village Hall, but it is relatively easy to do, and it will help us. Anybody have questions on that? Yeah.
It also be noted that we test for lead and copper.
Okay, yeah.
Twice a year, and our lead, most of the villages are non-detect for lead, and the parameters that they have to test for are infinitesimal.
Okay.
Very low. And there's houses here and there that may have very, very small
Right.
traces of lead, possibly from lead solder joints in the homes. I don't know. Most of the villages are non-detect of the 20
Right.
that we test.
Okay.
So I just wanted to
Thank you. That was Phil just reiterating that we've passed every lead test every 6 months for a long time. So we feel comfortable, but it's a mandate. It's a state mandate, and we're going to follow it. But I do feel somewhat comfortable that we're in good shape. So thank you, Phil, for that. Okay. New business. Holiday Festival and tree lighting. The Holiday Festival will be the Saturday of Thanksgiving. That is the 30th of December. I believe it starts at noon, goes till right around 6 o'clock when the Christmas tree will be lit and Santa comes and all that good stuff. Last year, we moved it from December. That was held here on Waterstone Road. Some people like it, some people didn't. I thought it worked out well. I thought the new location was excellent. It gave us a lot more room without disrupting traffic on this little juncture here. So put that into your Rolodex and your phone. We've mailed out to various businesses and vendors throughout the area that are in business in Greenwood Lake, do business for Greenwood Lake, soliciting a little monetary help in order to pull this off. We have had a decent response. We've collected over $850 in donations. So if you're a business, if you're a vendor, if you're a person that would like to help us out in this particular avenue, raising some funds, call Village Hall. We'll get you in the right direction. For those who have donated already, thank you very much. Again, it's for the holidays, it's for the kids. It all goes to a good cause. Okay. Also, I met with the mayor of West Milford, did a little meet and greet last week. Michelle Dale, very nice lady. Went over a couple of things that we deal with on a joint basis. Even though it's a different state, we share a lake, we share a border. There really wasn't much to discuss except the weed harvester. They had 2 weed harvesters. The Lake Commission had 2 weed harvesters. So we're entering into a IMA, intermunicipality agreement with them that we're going to take possession of the weed harvesters because we seem to need them much more than they do down in the south arm. So excuse me. So we have them. They're stored at the DPW. Brendan, our parks person, we got them. They were in disrepair. He brought them back to life and got them onto the lake in the beginning of the summer, and they worked very good getting the north arm, the columns, the tracks that we needed to keep that navigable for the people who live there. So we have those 2, and through a grant from Senator Skoufis, we'll be purchasing a smaller one to help us in the tight areas. These are quite big, which we need, but we also could use a smaller one to navigate around marinas. We're really trying to keep, the weed growth, which we know is inevitable, but we're just trying to keep it under control. So that's that. Events. Okay, we got a teen center scheduled Tuesday nights, located at the community center, 51 Waterstone Road, 4 to 6 p.m. for 2nd to 5th graders, 6 to 8 for 6th to 8th graders. Farmers Market, only 2 weeks left, Saturday morning. Last day is October 26th, Benwin Stanley Park, starting 9 a.m. to 1. ZBA meeting, tentative date is October 22nd, Village Hall, 18 Church Street, starting at 7:30. Holiday Festival, this Saturday, October 19th. It's located throughout the village, starting at 10 until 10, except for the little curfew that the chief was talking about. So, holiday party is Friday, November 1st, located at I want to go back to the festival. The festival that runs from 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. also culminates at Benwin Stanley Park with a terror trail. The Boy Scouts do a fantastic job decorating. They're out there as we speak, decorating the trail and coming up with all kinds of nice little games and scenery and whatnot. So looking forward to that. So that's on the 19th, this Saturday.
The trail is actually going to be closed for anybody to go through it from now until Monday, because they actually build structures and stuff back there, so they don't want anybody walking through while they're building things.
Right, yeah, I spoke with. Thank you. I spoke with the Boy Scouts a little earlier. Tonight you can still get through, but tomorrow it's going to be closed, one portion. But then figure it's going to be closed till at least after Saturday, till they get everything down. Little inconvenience, but it's definitely worth it. And it gets crowded. The kids love it. Okay, there's a Halloween party, adult Halloween party, Friday, November 1st, located at American Legion, 1443, 40 Mountain Lakes Lane at 7 p.m. You can contact the Legion if you're interested in going to that. Greenwood Lake Elks 2067 will be having their annual hoop shoot, free throw shooting contest. That'll be located at the elementary school on Waterstone Road. That'll be on November 9th at 10 a.m. That's for children ages 7 through 13. Okay, again, the Holiday Festival tree lighting, noon to 6. And this Friday, October 18th at 7 o'clock at the Elks, it's a Warwick Story Share, number 6. It's a group that they travel around our area, Warwick. They asked to come into Greenwood Lake. I wasn't familiar with it until this week. It's called Share a Story. I believe the setup is people can go up and you have 5 minutes to tell a story. I don't have much more than that. You can look on the village's website, and we'll get you information if you would like to speak to the person if you want more information. Sounds kind of nice and cute. They've been doing it for a while. So that will be 7 o'clock this Friday at the Elks. Okay. Anybody else have any announcements they want to talk about? No? Okay. Yeah. Okay. Privilege of the floor from anyone. Yes, ma'am.
Just needed to come up here.
Jean Marin once again. I was just curious, are you gonna have that giving tree thing where people need like gloves and things? It was by Village Hall and you put it in a bag and put it on. Are we doing that this year?
It will be put back out. But
Great.
Laura toys like no better.
You'll let us know.
Yeah.
Okay. And then I just had a statement and a quick question. So for the lead copper, a lot of us have had these gas leak detection people coming in from ONR, and I asked him. He showed me where my gas came in and the water pipes, and he did the scratch test for me. So people that maybe have a hard time going downstairs, or
Right,
something,
right.
could
We
ask them.
expect that, sure.
Yeah. So that was really helpful.
So if,
that's another
so
way
if
to get the information.
you're gonna get that QR code right to us with the survey,
Yeah,
right? Okay.
yeah. And then I had one more question back to, sorry, the new laws.
Yep.
What about trees and like storm debris removal, because that affects the land?
Brian?
I don't think no.
Yeah.
If you're removing trees, in other words.
Removing trees and like taking them down yourself, or removing trees that have fallen because of storms, or parts of trees that, because that affects the land.
Yeah, this
you're talking
provision
about.
in particular of the law only is referring to structures.
Okay, great.
Exterior, interior of a structure. So whether or not, you might need a permit depending on the degree
yeah.
anyway,
Yeah.
of removal, but that wouldn't be, the amendments here wouldn't affect that.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, if you're gonna remove trees, subsequent to this law, I know if it's vacant land, you have to get a permit because they don't want people clear cutting. But I believe trees on your property are fine, but just make the phone call real quick and say, I'm taking down a big maple tree, and it's not a problem, but that's not really disturbing it. I think, Brian, this is for construction and stuff like that. This isn't for.
Yeah, this is for
Yeah, this isn't,
structures
yeah.
and things like that.
Okay.
And,
Yep.
and with trees, remember, we always have the Indiana back issue, so
Yes,
careful
that,
what time
you have to
of
wait till November 1st for that, yeah.
yeah.
Anybody else on the floor? Okay, hearing none. We'll move into resolutions. Okay, these are all good, right? 31 and 39? Yeah, okay. Okay, resolution 31. The Village Greenwood Lake authorizes Dylan Sempervio to resign his position as part-time dispatcher and to be rehired as a part-time police officer. Starting FTO rate of $14.20 an hour upon successful completion of the FTO program, rate to become $28.99. Do I hear a motion?
Make a motion.
Celier,
Seconded.
Beth, all aye.
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 Resolution 32. Be it resolved that the Village Board of Village Green Lake authorizes the hiring of Ryan Warden, part-time police officer, starting FTO rate of $14.20. Successful completion of the program, rate becomes $28.99. Do I have a motion?
I make a motion.
Beth, Rosino, all aye.
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 Resolution 33, be it resolved that the village board authorizes the police department to apply for a DCJS equipment grant in the amount of $425,000. The request is for the following: 3 new hybrid patrol vehicles, 1 new patrol vessel, a boat, 40 new Glock 17 handguns, optics and holsters, and 6 new radar units for patrol. Again, this is for applying for a grant, but that's the things. Do I have a motion?
I'll make that motion.
Rosino,
Seconded.
Beth, all aye.
Aye.
Resolution number 34. The Village Greenwood Lake authorizes renewing of building permit number 2351. This is a building permit that expires. Person had a little hardship, so this, all we're doing is renewing a building permit.
I make the motion.
Beth,
Second.
Sally, all aye.
Aye.
Resolution 35. Be resolved that the Village Board of the Village Greenwood Lake authorizes building permit refund for application 2464. Like I said at the workshop, this is a woman who took an application out to put a fence. After she put it in and paid a fee, it was determined that she couldn't put the fence up. So we'd like to just refund the application.
Familiar.
Have a motion?
Yeah, I'll make that motion. Familiar.
Sally,
Seconded.
Beth, all aye.
Aye.
Resolution 36. The village authorizes the refund the escrow account on building permit 24-104. This building, people they have to put in escrow. When they're finished, if there's a balance, we refund it back to them.
I make the motion.
Beth,
I'll second.
Trezino, all aye.
Aye. Resolution 37. Village Greenwood Lake authorizes the village clerk to refund half the water charge of account 3105402 for water bill dated March 13th, 2024. Do I have a motion?
Make the motion.
Sally,
Seconded.
Beth, all aye.
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 Resolution 38. Village Greenwood Lake authorizes the village election to take place on Tuesday, March 18th, 2025 at the Senior Center located at 132 Windermere Avenue, Greenwood Lake, New York, from the hours of 12 p.m. noon till 9 p.m. Have a motion?
I'll make the motion.
Trezino,
Second.
Sally, all aye.
Aye. Resolution 39. Resolution authorizing special counsel to represent the village in litigation. Where,
I assume we have to read it all.
no, just that.
I don't know.
Oh,
Does he have to read the whole
should I read the
thing?
bottom part too, Brian?
You can just read the be it resolved.
Okay.
Everybody has it. You
Okay,
don't-
yeah.
You don't have to read the
Okay,
whole
so
thing.
be it resolved, special counsel to represent the village of Greenwood Lake, which would be the law firm of Feerick, Nugent, McCarthy. And that's it. Do you have a motion?
I'll make the motion.
Sally,
Seconded.
Beth, all aye.
Aye.
Yeah, it's,
Okay. Okay, I'd like to have a motion, approval to pay all audited bills. Motion?
I'll make the motion.
I second.
Sorry, hold on. Trezino, Beth, all aye.
Aye. Now I'd like to have a motion to accept the minutes from September 25th, 2024 Village Board meeting.
I'll make that motion.
Beth,
Second.
Sally, all aye.
Aye.
There is no executive session, and there are no budget amendments.
Correct.
I'd like to announce the next regular village board meeting is scheduled for November 20th, 2024 at 6 p.m., where we will begin with the continuation of that workshop, public hearing regarding local law 120. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
Make the motion.
Trezino,
Seconded.
Beth, close the meeting at 7:21.
7:21.
Yeah, we'll get our-
Thank you all.
Jason, you wanna read it?
We have four of us. Unless there's something that someone's closely related.
Chief,
Yeah.
any information you need?
What time is the Mets' first pitch?
Well, they're playing already, aren't they?
Probably 7:05.
You gotta get that.
Well, they're in New York, right?
Yeah.
Do you have to shut that down
Oh, yeah, we
first?
shut it down. Yeah.
And then I
You
unplug
can
it?
unplug it. Yeah, you can go ahead and unplug it.
That won't